soul. Fire burning in my soul. Fire, fire, fire. Fire burning in my soul.
Fire Radio. Anytime, anywhere.
Our journeys through education take many routes from our early years to university. Academic Crossroads is here to explore key elements to help equip you along the way. So join us and our special guests as we also discuss the expected and unexpected paths, including all the challenges and triumphs while gathering your academic top tips.
This is Academic Crossroads with your host, Dr. Leanne J. Adeyemi.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Academic Crossroads here on Fire Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in. Good evening, Nigel. Good evening, Rodney. Good evening, Goodness. Thank you for joining us. For those of you that are logged in but haven't commented yet, good evening to you all too. Thank you for joining me here on this fine Monday evening. So today we are focusing. We are doing a live Q&A session. It's been a while. It's been a while, but we have covered quite a lot of different content, and I've had so many questions especially over the past few weeks, related to school, to uni, to options, to scholarships, and so here is your chance to ask away, and so drop your questions in the comments. And it may be a question that you think is just for you, but I guarantee you someone else is thinking it. And so it is really an opportunity for you to ask a question, not just to help yourself, but to help others as well. So please make sure you share the link. Good evening, Temi. Good evening, Michael. Thank you for joining us. So make sure you share the link and drop your questions in the comments, and I will be right back after this.
This is Academic Crossroads.
Where would I be? You only know. I'm glad you see through eyes of love, a hopeless case, an empty place, if not for grace. Where would I be? You only know. I'm glad you see through eyes of love, a hopeless case, an empty place, if not for grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. I once was lost, but now I'm found. A hopeless case, an empty place, if not for grace. Precious Lord, take my hand and lead if not for grace. A hopeless case, an empty place, if not for grace. Where would I be? You only know. I'm glad you see, Lord, through eyes of love. A hopeless case, an empty place, if not for grace. I'm a hopeless case, an empty place, if not for grace. We're a hopeless case, an empty place. Thank God for grace. Just as I am without one plea.
This is
But
Academic
then
Crossroads.
was shed for me.
We had a short and sweet episode, but we didn't quite get to the sweet. So a reminder that our ultimate revision toolkit is up for grabs today. So please wait to listen out on how you could be in with a chance to win this. Now, this why I say ultimate. I say ultimate because it includes a whole study planner. This is not a short. This is not a short basic planner, but you have your whole days of the week. You have your times all from 6 a.m. right through to the evening. And it even breaks each week down into each day. And you can even color in your little cups of water to make sure that you are staying hydrated throughout the day. We have the all-important and the most pivotal tool, pack of highlighters and sticky dots, and a whole load of index cards for you to get writing your notes. And obviously with your sticky dots, color coding and theming. So if you stay tuned, we'll be going into how you can win those later on in the show. But so with today's show, we are doing a live Q&A. Like I said, it's been a while. But you may have questions that actually when you were at uni, something that you wish you knew about as well. It may help those that are in school. It may help those that are in sixth form or in college as well. So please do drop your questions in the comments and we will get to those as we go throughout the show. So first up, one of the questions that I did have this week and was discussing with someone this week is, how do I use the time best with lecturers in the lead up to a coursework submission? How do I use the time best with lecturers in the lead up to a coursework submission? Now, we all get we all have the session where maybe you're going over the whole module or your course, and it always comes in maybe like now you might be told in a few months' time you'll have coursework, right? And how many of us have left it? we receive that information at the beginning of the module, at the beginning of the term, and then we'll just let it sail through. We'll wait for the time to arrive where we're told, oh, coursework is due in a few weeks. And then that's when you get started. Wrong. Please make sure you are no longer that person after today's episode. So within utilizing the time that you have with your lecturers and in the lead up to coursework, as soon as you get told you've got coursework and as soon as the coursework information is available, make sure you read it. Go through it and read it thoroughly. Understand what you have to do and what the coursework entails, what you need to include in the coursework, and take a look at that good old mark scheme. because that mark scheme is going to be key in making sure that you get through it and get through it well, so that you can make sure you're hitting all the points on the mark scheme to make sure that you are delivering your coursework with excellence. So you need to make sure that you read through that plan, read through it, highlight it, make sure you make notes on it, because although you may not have been given all of the content yet, it means that you'll be going into your lectures already knowing what is going to be required of you. So as you're receiving the content and as you're reading around your area, actually you'll be able to consider that content within the context of your coursework and start making little notes as you go, and making sure that you're keeping all of that pivotal information locked in. By this time, you should have hopefully already had a rough idea of what it is you'll need to have as your skeleton. So does it require, and by this, I don't mean necessarily knowing the content, because you might not know it in the very early stages, but actually you will know whether you need what format it needs to be presented in, and you will also know whether you need introduction, conclusion. You know, you might need a discussion section. Do you need to write an abstract for it? You know, do you need to break up the essay across different areas? And so just having that, even if it is very basic, having that skeleton laid out for you in the early stages will help you filter in the information that you're receiving over the next few weeks, over the next few months, to actually build out that coursework that you have due. So making sure that you read your brief and build your skeleton. Then when you're during your lectures, making sure that you actually utilize and you're thinking of the content in the context of your coursework, which will be pivotal. Then as you go through the module, as you go through your course or that specific topic, ask questions. If there is anything you do not understand, make sure you ask, and you're asking with your coursework in mind, because that may actually lead your lecturer, it may lead your teacher, your tutor to actually go into more detail around the topic. They may direct you to specific pieces of work that you need to read, books that you need to read, that can really help you bulk up your work and make sure that what you're including is relevant and it is actually answering the question. So make sure you ask questions during your lectures. And if you don't want to put your hand up, for some reason you're feeling a bit like you don't want to do that, then just email them after. Go and see them once the lecture or the class is finished, and then you utilize that time to ask your questions. And make sure you're writing them down as you go, and keep a log of the answers too. Now, sometimes there are rules and regulations in how much lecturers can actually read of your coursework. And this is where a lot of students trip up a little bit, because they show their lecturer the work when it is at a very, very early stage, and the lecturer can't actually give you that many steers on it yet because you haven't actually produced much of it. And so the best way to work around this is for you to actually have your skeleton, start building out your work, and then ask questions. So go and ask questions first. Ask questions that are related to what you have already got. And this will give you a little more wiggle room, and it will give you the opportunity to improve your work first, and then show your lecturer at a later time. Isaac, you said stalk their office. I'm with you. Stalk their office. Find your lecturers and make sure you actually speak with them. Go and find them, because also if you are having those conversations, if you're showing that actually you're committed to doing this work and doing this work well, then lecturers are more likely to help you. Let's be real. Lecturers are more likely to help you. They also have more time to help you, because actually you're going to them and you're not just rushing questions during lectures. You're not, trying to catch little bits of time here and there when they haven't got the time. So actually go, spend that time and find them. So once you have done that and you've booked your meeting to ask your questions, making sure you're doing this once you've got a bit more of a plan, a bit more of an outline, and actually started your work. Then you need to make sure that you're prepared for your assessment lecture. So a lot of the time we see that you'll have all of your teaching modules, and then you'll have a class a few weeks maybe before your coursework is actually due. And this is often to go over the coursework and make sure everybody's got the same information, everybody knows due dates, everybody knows what's required. But you need to go to this session prepared. I repeat, go to this session prepared. Do not arrive not having read the module overview, not having put your skeleton together, and not having an idea of what it is that needs to be included. You need to go prepared so that you can utilize the session to the best of your ability. If you turn up and you don't have anything and you don't know anything, then you are just receiving the information firsthand. So you're already behind. You're already behind everybody else. And you are already behind where you definitely should be already. Steph, you said, I feel like this one hits home, Doc. Oh, really, Steph? Care to share? Care to share? I would love to hear your experiences on this. Steph, you said all the gear, all the gear and no idea. Or don't be the one with all of your highlighters, you know, your index cards, and you've got no idea. You've got no idea of what you need to do. Don't let that be you. So make sure you go prepared. Go with your questions if you haven't been able to ask them before. And also go knowing that, okay, this is an opportunity for me to refine my thinking in what I thought we already needed to do. So you're going there, yes, if you have questions to ask, but you also need to make sure that you're listening to other people's questions and hearing the answer that the lecturer is giving as well. So this is the time for you to just draw all sources, draw all the information that you can out of it, and make sure that you are putting yourself in the best position for you to be able to actually leave that class and leave that session in a better position, because you would have already done all of the other stuff. You would have already done your highlights, written your questions, done your plan, started putting your work together. And so this will be the opportunity for you to actually really utilize it if you come prepared. So come with the gear and come with the idea so that actually you can utilize the session the best. This will also show your lecturer that actually you've put in the time to get this stuff done. You've put in the time to actually focus and think about the coursework, which will also mean that they may be more responsive. Your questions as well that you'll be asking will be more informed. So you won't just sort of be asking questions like, do I need to break the essay down into different sections? You would have known that by reading the module outline. But you're coming to utilize the time. You're coming to use the time well. Don't waste time in these lectures, okay? And with that being said, once you have got your coursework to a good place, and I mean you've written a substantial amount and you know what needs to be included, then at this point, this is the opportunity for you to share your plan or your draft. Now, I know for some places, for some institutions or some schools, you will be able to show your plan to your lecturer or your teacher, and then after that, you can still show them another draft. So if that is the case, make sure you have your plan on lock and make sure the draft that you are sending them, if it is that you can show them both or you can only show them one, then make sure that the draft you are sending them is, when I say as finished as possible, you may not have written out the whole piece of coursework, but in the sections that you haven't written, you're doing bullet points of your ideas so that your lecturer can actually see your thought processes and see where you would be taking this piece of work. So you need to make sure that actually you're coming bulked and you're sending this piece in a good position. Now at universities, I know a lot of the time we have restrictions. Maybe it might be a 10% of the entire word count that your lecturer can read before you submit, or it may even just be a set number of words. It may be 200 words, it may be 500 words. So you have to bear this in mind. What do you want your lecturer to read? Do you really want them to just read a chunk of your introduction? Or is there a way that you can structure it so that you break it down so that they can read a bit, essentially they can read a bit more of your work? So you need to consider, does my introduction, one, show the content of the rest of what it is I'm writing about enough that actually the lecturer can give you good steers from what they've read? And if not, then you need to think about ways in which you can put those 250 words together and let your lecturer see it, so that actually they can then give you pointers and tips and steers on where to go next. So you don't want to be showing them the very, very, very early stages. If you do have a plan and a draft, for the plan is fine. But if it is a draft, you don't want to show them the early stages if you haven't really done much thinking about it. So this requires you to be prepared and you to make sure that you actually know what it is you're doing. So when you're thinking about your coursework submission and when you're thinking about the time that goes into the lead up to it, you can utilize it so much to put yourself in the best position so that when you do submit your work, then you can submit the best piece of work that aligns to that criteria. Make sure you are sticking to the assessment criteria. The lecturers that marked it put it together. I'm telling you, they put it together themselves. Unless maybe you're doing exam board stuff and you're in school, that's a little bit different. But still, your teachers will know what needs to be required. And so when you're at uni, the lecturers have put all of the material together. They've built the modules. They've decided what assessments you're going to have. They've decided how they are going to assess you. Some of these are in line with maybe if they are accredited courses. And so there are certain things they have to uphold within that and meet in that instance. But generally, they would have put everything together themselves. And so they know what they want to see from you. So if your lecturer is steering you towards a certain area, go with it and know what they are saying. Go with it and know what they are saying. Okay? And make sure that whatever you're showing them is in the best place for you to do it. But they know what they want. They're asking you for what they want. And within the mark scheme, they are telling you what they want. So stick to that. And make sure you're continually referencing against that. Am I doing whatever is in that 70% plus box? That's what we want. Make sure you're looking at that box and seeing what it is that is required of you. And even look at the box below where it goes between 60 and 69%. And look at the differences within those as well. And then that will help you look at it from the perspective of, okay, have I done this and what have I missed as well? So when thinking about how to best utilize the time in the lead up to your submissions, then make sure you need to be prepared and you need to have done the work. Now, I've had some more discussions about university versus apprenticeships. Now, we did a whole 2 episodes on that towards the end of last year. So you can go back to that for the real in-depth conversations. I was speaking with someone that is currently doing their degree apprenticeship, and it was a really interesting conversation. We went into great detail from how you apply to what it's like and the prospects after, even managing conversations with parents. So that episode is there for you to find. So that would have been a few months ago. But on a whole, when you are thinking about apprenticeships and thinking about university, you need to ultimately think about what does your field require. So for some fields, they will require you to go to university. They require you to have completed that accredited course and to have gone through that university process. But for other fields, that may not be the case, and you may not have to go to university. The benefits of apprenticeships are that actually you get paid whilst you're doing it, whereas with the university, you may receive some student finance and funding, but ultimately you will have to fund it yourself unless your course is paid for. And in some instances, if you're doing a PhD, you may receive a stipend, which is just a yearly payment, basically. Which I get, you can't really call it a wage because it doesn't class as that, but you will be paid for it alongside your fees being funded. So it's really thinking about what does your field require and what are the options for your fields. So is there an option to do an apprenticeship or a degree apprenticeship and also the option to do a degree? Can you get into your field by either of those routes or other routes? And making sure you know the requirements. So it may be that actually if you go through university and you get a degree, for example, you may start at a different band to somebody that did an apprenticeship. Or it may also be that if you've done a degree, it might grant you access into different areas that maybe apprenticeships will take you on a different route as well. I mean, you do placement years in degrees, so you do have the option there as well. But really think about what are the options in your field, see what is out there. Now, this may be heavily based on your circumstances as well. So and circumstances might be distance, it might be family stuff, it could be finances. So you have to really think about your circumstances and think about, okay, what is the best option? What is the best option for me in order for me to get to where I'm going? So if it is a particular field, it may be more of a field than a specific role. But what is the best route? And looking at your circumstances, how can you get there? What's the most effective way to get there? So definitely do consider your circumstances and what will work best. And then finally, also you could consider degree apprenticeships. Now, degree apprenticeships have come out more recently, but they give you the opportunity to do your apprenticeship. So you still work in the field, you still get paid, but you also get your degree alongside it. Now, these vary in how they are done. So it may be that actually for your first year, you do 6 months solid in your apprenticeship and you do 6 months solid at uni. It may be that actually you do your apprenticeship and then 1 day a week you'll be going to uni, or 2 days a week you go to uni. This is very dependent on the course that you're doing. It's very dependent on the company that you're doing your degree apprenticeship with as well. And with degree apprenticeships, it's really important to note that actually you may not find a degree apprenticeship in your specific role that you want to go into, but you may find it in your field. And that's because with degree apprenticeships, they want to give you opportunities to work in the area, the field, but then to also move around. And that was one of the really important points we discussed when we had the show last year, was actually that know the business, know more than what you're doing within your apprenticeship, and make sure that actually you're making connections, links and networks with those outside of your immediate team, outside of those that are also with you on the journey towards your degree apprenticeship, and thinking about it more broadly than just what you're doing now. So degree apprenticeships may also be a route in for you. So before we go on to questions, please, if you have any questions or you think there's something that you wish you knew when you were at uni, please drop the questions in the comments and we will get to them. So for those of you that would like to win our ultimate revision guide set here today, I need you to answer one question and one question only. And that question is from last week's show. So are you ready? Actually, let's make sure you're all ready. Let's make sure you are ready. So please drop your I'm ready comments in the chat and we will get into the question in just one moment.
This is Academic Crossroads.
I come just wanna be more like you. Jesus, I wanna be more like you. I wanna be a vessel you work through. I wanna be more like you. I wanna be more. Everybody, come on now. Hey, everybody's I love you so much. Oh my darling, come on. Sing darling Jesus. Oh my darling Jesus. I love you so much. Everybody come on. Sing darling Jesus. Oh my darling Jesus. I love you so much. Yeah, oh my darling Jesus. I've come before you today, and there's just one thing that I want to say. You say, thank you, Lord. Did you bring your praise? Thank you. Thank you, Lord. For all you given to me. For all you given to me. All the blessings, everybody. All the blessings that I can say. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Say thank you. One more time, come on, say, I've come before you today. I've come before you today. Yeah. Everybody, come on. And there's just one thing that I want to say. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. Sing thank you. Thank you, Lord. For all you've given to me. For all you've given to me. Every blessing, everybody. For all the blessings that I can sing thank you. Thank you, Lord. I just wanna thank you. Yeah. With a grateful heart, song of praise, I should song. I bless your name. One more time. With a grateful heart, song of praise, I should song. Hey, thank you. Thank you, Lord. Say, I just wanna thank you, Lord. Say thank you. Thank you, Lord. I just wanna thank you, Lord. Yeah. Come on. Everybody, come on. Sing glory, glory, Lord. We give you glory, Lord. Glory, glory, Lord. You are the mighty God. We give you glory, Lord. You know this one. Say glory. Hey, what's that? Glory. We give you glory, Lord. Say glory. You are the mighty God. You are the mighty God. You are the mighty God.
This is Academic Crossroads.
Good evening and welcome back to Academic Crossroads here live on Fire Radio. So I am looking at the time and the time is gone for this evening's show. Now we were supposed to do our giveaway of the ultimate revision set. However, only 4 of you are ready. So I think this is something that we are going to have to take away and bring back next week. So please make sure you listen to last week's show for your insight on answering the question in your chance to win the ultimate revision pack. So thank you all for tuning in. Don't cry, Steph. Just tune in next week. and be ready. Be ready. So thank you so much for joining the show this evening. I have been your host, Dr. Leanne J, and you have been listening to Academic Crossroads live here on Fire Radio. So I'll be back with you same time, same place next week here on Fire Radio.
You have been listening to Academic Crossroads. Join us same time next week for more academic top tips with your host, Dr. Leanne J. Adu-Boahene.
You make me stronger. Oh, you make me stronger.
Gracias, Jesús.
Watch me. From Jamaica to the Caribbean, from Spain to Colombia, from Canada to the US, Uganda. You're my creator, Lord, you know my times, seasons of breakthrough, my seasons of trial. So I will seek you, and you I will find.
Fire Radio.
You're my strong tower, in you I will hide. Help me now. You make me stronger.
On Fire Radio.
Fire burning in my soul. Fire burning in my soul. Fire, fire, fire. Fire burning in my soul. Anytime, anywhere. Anytime, anywhere. Anytime, anywhere. Anytime, anywhere.
On Fire Radio. Anytime.